Welcome back, and we are here again. Fantastic. So today our topic is the scientific miracles that were claimed in the Quran that some Dawahists have turned against. They have rejected it. Some have even claimed that they might possibly even be debunked. We'll be going through those today. So, like they say, though...
Repeat it again, very carefully. The scientific miracles argument in the Quran got debunked.
House of Spiders. Yes, the House of Spiders, or the House for Spiders. Not sure how they worded it on the website that I was looking at, but we will go down through some of the claims that they make and walk on down. Now, just to let everyone know that this is an open call-in. You guys are welcome to call in if you disagree with me, if you have another point to bring up, you didn't think I focused on it, or you just have something you want to add. I would love to have a discussion with you guys. And let me know if the sound is off, because we were having some technical difficulties at the beginning. But I went ahead and added the call in for this live stream there in the live chat. If you guys want to click on that, if you don't see that right away, then it should be on the top of the chat as well. So loud and clear, brother. Fantastic. Yeah, it's the flooded PC issues. They're still getting there. You're saying that the Ali Dawa was quite quiet. I think that was actually the loudest option they had, but I might have had that still low.
Repeat it again, very carefully. The scientific miracles argument in the Quran got debunked.
And we're proud of that, yeah?
So, yeah. So we'll find out. Yeah, we're proud of that. Yep. Okay, water. So we do have a poll going on that. I'd be curious to see what your guys' thoughts are of the best of the scientific arguments from the Quran. 1/10 of your audio. I don't know. Again, I'd have to look at the drivers used on this PC. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to continue on. If we have a guest jump on, we will have to do a sound check and see if my audio is way too overpowered or not. But we'll find out. We'll find out. Not a big deal. So let's go ahead and go to this first website here. I'll go ahead and share that. This one is from themuslimvibe.com. Yes, this is so totally a Christian-y website. The first one is found in Quran 21:30, and they're claiming that, you see, it says that Allah made living things from water. So this is the first claim here. Now, the criteria for something to actually be proven a scientific miracle in the Quran is that it must first be clearly stated in the Quran. Unequivocally clearly stated. It can't be something vague, and then you just give me a personal interpretation, or the website adds stuff to it. No, the Quran itself needs to be able to stand alone and show me that, oh, this is a scientific proof. Interesting. And there can't be some other explanation for it. On top of that, it must not have been found in any other source. This must be the first source. It cannot be common knowledge that is then added to the Quran, and then say, well, you see, it wasn't really discovered until the Quran, but then we look back at history and we find out, oh no, it was something that was pretty common theory at the time. That would be a bit of an issue. And also, it must not be something that is terribly, terribly obvious that a Bedouin in Saudi Arabia could look around and say, this seems to be kind of important to things. And that's where the first one really falls into. First of all, the whole water concept isn't unique to the Quran. So it fails that one. On top of that, not again. Oh my goodness, we might have to make it. I might have to go get a new computer.
Do the audio from the mic, from the webcam.
We will try to switch to a separate audio and see if that will work. 1 second here. 1, 2, 3. It looks good on my side, but we will switch over to the webcam that I am using. And I'm seeing it come in, so we will give that a shot. Let me know if it's still choppy, if it's still having issues, okay? It says it's now clear. Okay, well, we might have some issues with my blue microphone. Start again. No, I'm not starting a third time. I would just edit this part out. Just edit this part out. Okay, so the water claim in the Quran that we've looked at. My goodness. Going to make me restart again? Oh, Thomas! I'm never going to get through the first one if I kind of restart every 5 seconds. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at this here. So the claim is that everything is created through water. Well, that's not the first source that we see that. That is a common concept that's put forth in a lot of different theologies. There's also the very fact that, who knew? A person in the desert would value water. Really? You mean they would come to a conclusion that water is kind of critical for life because everything needs to drink water? Seems pretty obvious there as far as that. So that is one of the obvious signs that this is not a miracle itself. So, the best claim. Yep, we're looking at what would be the best claim and what was debunked. So that would definitely not hold up to any scrutiny. The second one, the Big Bang Theory. And actually this comes off of the same exact verse. So, okay, they're kind of doing a double dip here for this one. It's one verse, but there's supposed to be two miracles within one verse. One side says, and we made everything out of water, and water is kind of important for life. So let's go ahead and share 21:30 here. It says that the first part says that the heavens and the earth were joined, were together entirely, and then we separated them. And then it talks about making everything from water. So, was that something that was a common theory at the time of Muhammad they just happened to grab and put in? Yeah, it's actually called the egg theory. So this is not something. Now, they try to relate this to the Big Bang, but it's not really saying that now, is it? It's saying that the heavens and the earth were together, and then we separated them out. You can find a very similar thing in the Bible itself, talking about the separation of waters. Water of life. Where have I heard that before? Yeah, water of life. Life coming from water. Almost like people understood the concept and how important water is to life itself. Again, not something I would claim as a miracle. If I was a Muslim trying to make this claim, I would feel kind of bad making it because I have to add a lot to it and assume a lot. Now, you could just say that, see how intelligent it is? It is agreeing with the text before it, at least on this one issue, which, of course, then again, they would claim that, you see, this one part of the Bible was not corrupted. Everything else was corrupted, but just not this part. Okay, so we got that one. So let's go back to the website. We'll share this tab instead. Go on down. So that's number 2. Number 3, the Big Crunch Theory. Now this is Quran 21:104. So let me go ahead and just go on to that one. Specifically, I should have it up in a tab here, if I can find it. If not, I'll grab it real quick. Just because we want to go to the source itself. Here we go. So here we are. So it's talking about he will fold the heavens. Well, fold the heavens? Like folding a sheet for the records? No, that's not what science is theorizing. The concept is that everything would collapse upon itself. You wouldn't have this folding up effect. So no, it really doesn't hold up to that scrutiny of just, does it actually align with the theory itself? Not really aligning with the theory itself. It's talking about folding, which the universe isn't a flat plane like a sheet. It's not something that you would be able to do that with. This is three-dimensional. And the theory that they're claiming this lines up with doesn't really hold water again, because that's not what the theory is. It's not the collapse. It's not the big crunch theory. This would be more like the big fold theory. So that one really doesn't hold up. Let me know from the live chat down there, what is the best one that you guys have heard? Go ahead and leave that there. So, okay, let's go ahead and go back on. Now, this is a very popular one. Embryology. Okay. This is where they take it, and I've heard many Muslims go to this. So the question is, does this actually hold up to scrutiny? Does it align? I mean, is it miraculous and absolutely unheard of in any other text or from anyone ever? It wasn't until the Quran that this magnificent thing happened. No, that's not the best of examples there necessarily. So let's see here. So we got this share. So it's talking about the development of humanity. So create a man from clay, talks about create a man from clay. Then we placed a sperm drop in a firm lodging. Okay. So then that sperm drop into a clinging clump. We made that clinging clump into a lump. Now they add of flesh, but there's really no of flesh there. It's just a lump. And we made the lump, not from, that's again added word. So we made the lump bones. So there wasn't any bones until this happened. And we created, we covered the bones with flesh. Okay, so it didn't have flesh until you covered the bones with flesh. It was just like a lump and a bump, a clump, a lump. Oh my goodness. It sounds like Dr. Seuss. Then we developed him into another creation. Okay, at that point, he becomes another creation. Okay. Well, there are hadith that go along with this, which are rather interesting if we look at them. So, 1 second here. Yeah, everything got switched around last second. Because they specifically put time frames on this whenever these lumps, clumps are supposed to exist. So share this. Here we go. So, clearly says, and now this comes out of, this one's Sahih al-Bukhari 7454. So 7454. And it talks about it being 40 days as a clump and 40 days as a lump. As thick blood, actually, in this one. Clump of thick blood for 40 days. So, luckily, Dr. Seuss, that's what I was going to say. My wife's saying, oh, that's what I was going to say, Dr. Seuss. Yeah. Yep. But even He's even more believable, yeah. So, if that is true, then we got a time frame for this, right? We've got an actual time frame to work from. So we've got here's a development. First trimester, second trimester, third trimester. So 40 days. Remember, it's supposed to be 40 days as a lump. Okay, now this is before the bones. So the bones don't even happen, according to the Quran, until at least 80 to 120 days into the development of the child, except that's not what we see in the actual source. That's not what we actually see in biology. So no. That's a 19. Oh, yeah, it's the miracle of 19. No, I don't think they actually have it on the website as being the miracle of 19. But yeah, that's just incredibly silly. Oh, look, I found a number that seems to match up, so we'll go ahead and use this as a miraculous number. No, pick a random number. No. That's not how this stuff works. So, no, but the hadith are really useful. Well, this is only one hadith, right? So let's see. Are there more that agree with this concept? So we have Sahih Muslim 2643a, which also talks about it being 40 days, for a period of 40 days. So it is in the womb in the form of blood for 40 days. And then after that, it is a clump of blood for another period of 40 days. So, yeah, that would be 80 days to begin with, and that's not what we see when we look at basic biology, now is it? No. So, but, again, not the only one. Again, this is Sahih. It says it's reliable, according to them, again. So we go back to Sahih al-Bukhari, and we find, again, Sahih al-Bukhari, this is 6594. We find, again, that's talking about it being 40 days. How is this supposed to be some sort of scientific miracle when all you have to do is actually read the source and it instantly falls apart? This only works as a scientific miracle, and this by far, I'm focusing so much on this one because this is the one I've heard of the most. People have claimed this over and over and over again. I've heard this the most, saying that this is where the scientific miracle is miraculous. It perfectly lines up with science. No, it doesn't. In fact, it violates it. Anyone that studies biology at all, any Muslim that studies biology, can't take this claim seriously because there's just nothing there. So it fails that one. On top of that, this is the concepts here were something that were already established and thought of as being the truth before the Quran. So we have Greek philosophers talking about it. So no, it does not hold any ground as far as being a miraculous first sign that this is just the first. This is where we first discovered it. Was in here the biology. Nope, that fell apart pretty quickly. So we're going to share this again. So the sky of protection. So this is Quran 21:32. So and they are claiming there, and we made the sky a protected ceiling, but they from its sight are turning away. Okay, so it's a protected ceiling. So it's a ceiling there to protect us. See, so you got like meteorites coming down. It protects us from space. It protects us from there. That's what the sky does. So they want to take this side as absolutely and perfectly literal. They want to take it as literal as possible, saying that that's what it meant. But last time I checked, a ceiling is something that is hard that you can't pass through. Now we know with Muhammad's night travels that the heavens that are above us are a physical location that he can travel to. So we know that part is part of Islam. But yeah, so you can't claim that half of this has to be taken literally and the other half, well, at least this one part, can't be taken literally. So it just means ceiling because it's just above us. No. You could very easily have just dropped that part and just said that the sky is a protection. There are other sections in the Quran itself that talks about Allah holding up the sky, that if he didn't hold it up, it would fall upon us. So, yeah. That doesn't hold much water once we actually examine and just read the verse itself. So, no, it's not clear based upon the Quran and based upon what they're claiming. So one of my favorites is the next one because I hear this one quite a bit. And this is talking about meteorites. Iron being in meteorites and that they sent down the iron. This is in Quran 57:25. They're saying that this is, Allah sent down the iron from meteorites, and that's how they know it's the truth, is because it was sent down, and then they know that that's what it is. Except if you actually look at the verse in just a second here, which I was trying to do, trying to pull it up. In the Quran, that phrase there, "we sent down," doesn't only talk about it in that one situation or with iron itself. So we're going to go ahead and share this instead. Just a little bit before that, we sent our messengers with clear evidences. Messengers referring to Muhammad and the prophets. And sent down with them the scripture. Okay, well, again, if you're saying that just a little bit further down, it's talking about and so in the same way, we sent down iron. So if you're saying that iron is sent down from outer space, and that's what this is referring to, then you'd have to say that the scriptures that's talking about was sent down the same way. So, to my knowledge, this book was not thrown from outer space onto Earth. There's also another section that talks about towels being sent down and other stuff being sent down as well, clothing. The problem is, if you look at this in that light with understanding, you would come to the conclusion that Allah is just basically claiming that he's the one who originated it. He's the one who sent this stuff down. Down with the scriptures. Yep. Said Muhammad's flying down from outer space, coming on down here. Woo! Flying on down according to this. So no, it doesn't make any sense within context of the scripture. If I were to look at this in context, I'd just say that Allah is saying that he gave us iron. Not that it's some miraculous sign. On top of that, even if this was, let's just say hypothetically, even if this was saying that, yes, iron comes from meteorites being sent down from outer space, well, then that violates another one of our points that we were looking at. Because this was something that was widely accepted beforehand. The Egyptians knew about it. The Egyptians referred to iron as being star metal. Whoop-de-doo. Again, you're just copying from other sources, pulling it in. It's not scientifically miraculous. It's just a claim that Allah did this. Okay. If you're just saying that this was a claim that Allah made this, fine. But again, you can't take half of this and say, we've got to take this section here where it says we sent down iron as being super literal. When beforehand, it's talking about other things being sent down, and you can't take that. That's just metaphorical. Guys, seriously, if you're using the same phrase here, it needs to be consistent. So yeah, that one would definitely fall under the debunked category. Yeah, the Iron Age was long before Muhammad. Long before Muhammad was the Iron Age. So yeah, he missed that one by a long period of time. So nope, sorry. And we now know that not all iron came from space necessarily, that there was some iron here on Earth. Allah threw down the LGBTQ Quran, hitting Muhammad and causing a severe concussion. That would be an interesting story on that end. So with the live chat going, I'm going to go ahead and invite anyone on up. Daughter of the Most High, good to see you. So I'm going to go ahead and put the call-in back in. This is a call-in live stream. Muslims, if you disagree, whatever, or if any non-Muslim wants to give their opinion, give their 2 cents, or say, oh, see, you're being unfair here. We've got this, or I wanted to add this, or do you think of it this way? You're more than welcome to come on. We can have a discussion. I would love to have that discussion with you. But this is your opportunity. The shorts, I can't do that for, but the long live streams, I can. So you're welcome to come join in. So, well, iron seems to have fallen through, so let's go ahead and go on back to 14. This one's always a fun one. The meeting of the seas. Okay. So this is, of course, in Quran 55, 19 through 20. So let me grab that real quick here. 55, 19 through 20. So where it's talking about 2 seas and they meet. Between them is a barrier, so neither of them transgress. Muslims will look at this and they'll definitely pull up a picture, which I do not have with me, where this salt water and fresh water are meeting, and there seems to be a visible line right through there. For a good sword. Oh, sorry, real quick. Yep, Damascus steel. That is a long story involving crucibles, but bit of history there. Thank you for that. Fantastic. So, you're saying, see, there's a clear barrier between these 2 waters, fresh water and salt water. And they can't, they can't get past each other. There's a line there. Well, the problem is the statement where it's talking about neither of them transgress. The problem with that picture that they show is that the water is mixing. It's just taking some time to do that. And visually, there is a little line there, but it's not the only place that fresh water and salt water mix. That's pretty common. And if you look at a lot of the Tasfir on this, they're always talking about it being land, which makes perfect sense. Again, this would just be a simple statement saying, hey, look, there's fresh water and there's salt water, and there's land in between, and they cannot they don't go past that. It's very clear separation. Can't go past it either way. Very simple. At least in my mind, that seems pretty simple translation. So this one would just fail the simple, it doesn't actually say what they're claiming. It doesn't make any sense within what they're claiming. So going on to the next one here, which is 8. The sun moving in orbit. Quran 21:33, and I don't understand how they get this from this. And it is he who created the night and the day and the sun and the moon, all in an orbit, are swimming. So again, okay. So you're saying that this is clear proof that the sun is moving in an orbit around the galactic center. And everything's actually moving around something. So everything's moving, and this is proof of it. It wasn't found until the 20th century. You see, the issue is this with this is then you find other parts of the Quran that say that the moon is chasing the sun. So the moon is orbiting behind the sun. If you're taking this to be literal, and you have to be consistent with that. And that the sun sets in a muddy spring where there's a people that live all around it. Really? If you're going to claim that parts of the Quran have to be metaphorical, but it's all the same book and all the same writing style, and you want to use them as metaphors, but then you get to sections you like, and then that instantly switches to literal. The problem is the Quran is claimed to be the literal words of Allah, so they're literal. Okay, it is exactly what Allah said and how he said it, according to the claim. So if Allah says that that the moon chases the sun in the sky, the moon chases the sun in the sky, and that they orbit around each other. And if Allah says, when recounting a historical story, according to the Quran, about Dhul Qarnayn finding the setting place of the sun, it is not from Dhul Qarnayn's perspective, it is from Allah's perspective. Allah's the one who's talking about it. He's not saying that Dhul Qarnayn thought he found it. He's saying he did find it. So, no. Again, no. Can't give you that credit. 9 would, according to this website, or mountains are stakes. This is where the Quran is talking about in Quran 78, 6 through 7. Talking about the mountains being stakes, and the reason why is because of earthquakes. Not that they're created by it, but that Allah decided to put a bunch of stakes in the ground so that the earth wouldn't shake. That's not how that works. And they claim that it's because the mountains have roots, and the roots go deep, and the problem is, again, that's not how it is. How are mountains created? Kind of by the earth moving. Some earthquakes could create mountains. So we're now into that issue there. So nope, sorry, that one falls apart just as much as the other ones do. Thomas Hall says you have to hand it to Mo. At least he had great imagination. Yes, or at least he was plagiarizing everyone else, as we've already seen with a few Greek philosophers, that he stole the concept of the fetus, how it was developed, which we found out that doesn't hold water once it's actually taken into consideration. So let's go on to the next one here. And then we got another one with its claims 15, so we'll have to see how many are crossover between these two websites and how many are just the same. So far, all of these are pretty easily debunked. It doesn't take much to look at it and just say, that's not what it's really saying. So here we have the expansion of the universe. So this is Quran 51:47 that it goes to. And it is talking about it's claiming that this is what it means. It's talking about the expansion of the universe. So let's see if we actually look at the source itself in context with the rest of what's going on behind it and see if that's actually what it is saying. So this is, sorry, one more second, 47. So 51:47. So I'll go on down and let me grab this here. So share this. So this is the verse it's pointing to, saying, see, it talks about we are expander. Because again, it's is kind of added. So it doesn't actually exist, so it's not we are its expander. No, that would be wrong. It is we are expander. Well, if you look, is that really what is going on? Is that really what it's claiming here? That the universe is expanding? It is giving credit and says, and the heavens we constructed with strength, and indeed we are expander. I see a bit of an issue. The Quran is not clearly saying that the universe is expanding. I mean, how much more complicated would that have been just to say, hey, we started creating it, it's expanding, it's constantly expanding outwards. That was us making it do that. No, that's a title being claimed, not a statement about how the universe is currently expanding. So that one doesn't hold up to anything. Ah, Adam Seeker, welcome. The best of scientists. Yes, Allah is the best of scientists in his own brain. Because, let's be honest, that's about all we got here so far off these Muslim websites. So that doesn't pass the sniff test. Again, this has to be something completely unique to the Quran. It has to be something very clearly stated. And it has to be in line with science, which, again, if you're claiming just a title that we are its expander, which it doesn't say it, so we are expander, doesn't mean that the universe is expanding. It's not a claim like you say it is. We have pain receptors. Number 11, and this is Quran 4:56. It's claiming that this is coming off of. And it says that we shall send those who reject our revelations to the fire, and their skin has been, and when their skin has been burned away, we shall replace them with new ones, so that they may continue to feel the pain. God is Almighty, All-Wise. Okay, so in other words, your skin burns away, they add skin to it. Sorry, sharing wrong section here. Notice I was on the wrong page. Oh well. But we're on it right here. So again, if you guys want, you guys are welcome to join on in to the live stream. Let me go ahead and put the call-ins again. So what do you guys think about this here? Does it say that we feel pain because of pain receptors? After all, this is the only part that is actually coming from the Quran is this section here. The rest is added by the writer of this website or whoever wrote this article. So, Is this a miraculous sign? Well, the problem is, it's pretty obvious that people have been burned before, that if you don't have skin, you can't feel your skin being burned away, and that you're just adding more skin to it. It's just talking about a consistent and constant torture. That their skin gets burned away. They want to, Allah goes ahead and adds more skin so that they can go through the pain and suffering again. It doesn't say that that's where your pain receptors are. It just is saying part of this torment is this repeated process. Again, not miraculous. And at the same time, we knew that skin involved. If you burn yourself, if you burn your skin away, there's pain involved. So, yep. You'll always have flesh to burn horribly. Yep. Just go back and keep burning. And then Allah will restore your flesh so you can burn more flesh. It's just talking about the type of torture. It's really not giving any sort of scientific revelation here. It's just talking about the type of torture. So that kind of falls through once again. You didn't pass the sniff test here. Again, opportunity, call in. Open to anyone? Yep. We got that on this live stream. So here we go with the eternal waves in the ocean. So this is where it's supposed to talk about the eternal waves underneath the ocean. So different currents. And it talks about upon which are waves, over which are clouds, darkness. Some of them upon others. So that's where they're getting this whole... See, the waves, some of it's upon others. So some of the waves are upon others. If you've ever been at sea, whenever it's very, very high weather, you could say that there are waves on top of waves on top of waves on top of waves. Very simple. Now, if you're saying that there's darkness, and it's saying that there's darkness under the ocean, and if you go down deep enough, you can't even see, because it talks about when one puts out his hand, which actually I don't see them using that as a miracle here. They're just talking about the waves aspect. They're not really talking about how hard it is to see. So it's talking about the darkness here, and that's often pointed to as another one. So I guess that would be a bonus, so this would be like 14, I guess. So when one puts out his hand, he can hardly see it. So it's talking about the darkness underneath the ocean. You can't even see this far in front of you. Well, this is not something that was unknown. People knew this before the Quran. This is not miraculous. This is just rehashing things that were already well known. And the problem is, sometimes those well-known things are scientifically wrong, and the Quran still adds the wrong part. Again, this is from a Muslim website, so yeah, they are honestly making this argument saying that these are the scientific miracles of the Quran. I'm talking about it's all stolen from the Bible anyways. Quite a bit was stolen. Quite a bit was just absolutely wrong. A lot of apocryphal sources. A lot of other sources. I mean, if it was there, it seemed that Muhammad would rip it off pretty simply. And at the same time, he is well known for this. This is something that he was getting called out for, being the ear in the Quran, being the person who repeats stories of the ancients. People at his time were calling him out for this. So the last one for this website that we see here is the frontal lobe. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, frontal lobe, and they've got a whole... I can't... So the only part that is actually from the Quran in this whole section here is right here. No, indeed. If he does not stop, we will seize him by his forehead, his lying, sinful forehead. So now some of them refer to it just being the hair that's right here on his forehead, that they would seize it by that. And this is the miraculous miracle of the Quran. That is supposed to be talking about the frontal lobe and how it works. And again, no. This is out of Quran 96, verses 15 and 16. And it doesn't say that. It does not pass the simple sniff test. Again, we said at the beginning, it must clearly state this miracle in here. It's not talking about the brain. Some translation is talking about the hair, that they seize him, that they take him under their power. It's very clear that they take him under their power. And that's basically it. I mean, it might mean that they're going to kill him, but that wouldn't be the scientific miracle that is being claimed here. So it's not. But that's the one they choose to end it on, because that's the last one on this website. They're grasping at straws. Really are. Again, this wouldn't... What's so bad about it is they don't have to make this claim. They don't have to make this claim about the scientific miracles. They don't have to make it. It's not like it's a requirement that they make this claim. They try to force the Quran, in the wording used in the Quran, into a science book, which it's clearly not. Nor do I think it necessarily was intended to be a book of science. But yet they try to force that in. So let's see here. So I'm going to go on to this other website here. Share this one instead. This is 15 scientific 15 scientific Quran miracles that will blow your mind. Okay. Let's take a look. Every living thing is created from water. That's number one. We already did that one. We already showed how that is already something that was theorized, how that was already something that could have definitely been stolen. And at the same time, it's very easy, even if it wasn't, even if this was the first source, it is pretty obvious to a bunch of people living in the desert that, hey, water is kind of important. Everything that's living seems to be drinking water. So it's kind of critical. Okay. Communication between ants. Oh, this one's new. Okay, cool. So we actually have a new one. And communication between ants. Yep, they do have that. It's very limited. I'm actually looking for their reference. Okay, here we go. So here's their reference. Actually, I haven't taken a look too much at this website. It's just one that we pulled up. It's talking about, I guess, Solomon. Until when they reached a valley of ants. One of the ants said, "Oh, ants." Okay, sorry. Ants, get into your holes, lest Solomon and his hosts crush you without even knowing. Okay, so hold on. So the ants are talking to their ants enough, obviously, that Allah is hearing, and they're saying, "Oh no, run to your holes because Solomon's coming and he might crush you underfoot." And this is supposed to be the example of this ant communication. They communicate through pheromones. This is not, they don't have a language. They don't have verbal communication, yet here it's saying that ants are saying this. And this is supposed to be some sort of miracle. Scientific miracle within the Quran. This one's reaching even worse than the last website. That makes it the end. Well, yep, the word for Solomon, because that's a direct quote, right? It's a direct quote from Allah's point of view saying that this happened. Yeah, no. No, sorry, that's really bad. There's bad. And then there's this bad. I have to admit, man, I kind of agree with Ali Dawa on this one. Definitely when it comes to this one here.
Repeat it again very carefully. The scientific miracles argument in the Quran got debunked.
Absolutely debunked. 150% debunked. And I realized I don't even have my headphones in anymore. Thing. That's because you don't have headphones in anymore. Because it's part of the other microphone, and the other microphone was giving us issues. And probably Adam Seeker's been sitting back there forever and has not been able to join because I've not heard the ding. Welcome.
Hello, brother. Subscribe.
Hey.
How are you?
Very good. Very good. Having a lot of fun with these. I didn't realize how much fun these would be. These scientific miracles.
Awesome. You're doing an awesome presentation, and I just thought that's give me sense over here. So that's watching in.
I'm sorry. I don't know if my internet is like having issues, but you were cutting in and out quite a bit for me, at least. Probably not for everyone else. Just probably for me.
I am sorry. Maybe I don't know if this is good. That I'll rejoin. So give me a minute. Let me try. Rejoin.
Okay, so it isn't just me. Okay. Whew. I was wondering if it was still the same issues we were having beforehand with the audio. Just stop and imagine the image of you ants have of Solomon. How did they know who he was? Yeah, so how they know who he was unless it's like Allah's over there telling everyone about all these people and it's like, hey, I got Solomon over here. He's coming for you guys. Run and hide, everyone. This is what his boot looks like. Be careful. Yeah, okay, so was it just me? Okay, number 2. Welcome back.
Hello, brother. Is my voice good now?
It sounds wonderful.
Peace of Christ be with you, man, and everyone in the live chat. Thank you so very much. And you are doing an awesome job, but I thought I might just add just a few couple of points if possible.
Absolutely. This has just been a bunch of fun.
Awesome. So you talked about the everything living thing made out of water.
Yep, that would be number 1 for this list, but yeah, it was also number 1 on the last list as well, which I love to go to.
So they are talking about Surah Anbiya, ayat number 30. وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. Hay means living, and this is very important to read over here because that's why I wanted to say it here. It says every living thing, and this is Surah Anbiya number 30. And now we have a problem which has a contradiction in Quran. Either you should call it contradiction or paradoxical statement, because in Quran chapter number 3 verse number 59, it's the dust which actually started the creation of Adam. In chapter number 19 verse number 67, Allah created everything with nothing, like literally it says nothing. Allah created everything with clay, i.e. water and mud mixed, chapter number 15 verse number 26. And then chapter number 16 verse number 4, Allah says that all of the people are being created using sperm, and you can say sperm is ma, which is water, so I'm gonna give it to the same. But then chapter number 96 verse number 2 is blood clot. Thank you so very much. So in essence, if you look at it, Allah don't know. And then when we talk about high, in the Quran itself, angels are made out of nur, which is light.
I was about ready to talk about jinn being smokeless fire.
And then jinns are made of smokeless fire. So Surah Ahraf, ayah number 12, Allah talks about angels made out of nur, which is light. So angels are living things, they are high, as it is in Surah Anbiya, ayah number 30. It if it is high, angels are high, angels are living, then there's a contradiction because angels are made out of nur.
Absolutely. So it could
And
not possibly mean that unless it contradicts itself.
exactly. And then you go further, as you already said, Surah Ar-Rahman, Allah says in ayah number 15 that He created the genies with the smokeless fire. So there's a contradiction. But then again, why did Muhammad inserted this sentence in it? Because just like everything else, Muhammad stole this as well. There was a Greek philosopher named Thales, or I don't know how you pronounce it in English. He is the one which is supposedly alive between 624 BCE to 547 BCE, and he is the earliest philosopher who stated that the fundamental element of living creature is water. So imagine this statement, even Allah is saying it in terms of philosophy, like the Muslim comes and tells us it's a philosophical book and you can't take it literally, and you have to take as the fundamental element to create human beings and living things. Then again, this was already known there in between peoples at least 1,000 years before the birth of Muhammad. Muhammad was supposedly born in 571, and this guy is talking about this in between 600 BCE, which is almost 1,000 years before Muhammad. So this is supposed to be a common knowledge, just like Muhammad stole the verses of the embryology from, once again, another Greek philosopher and medicine expert. This is the same thing which is stolen from there, even though there are other contradictory verses.
Almost like
What
there's a
do you?
trend.
Oh
No, and
yes,
I
there is a trend of
absolutely
stealing
agree with you.
verses. Thank you so very much. So this is so stupid. I'm sorry to use this word. A lot of people said don't use the stupid word. In English, stupid is really a bad word, but I don't know.
It is?
Sometimes
I didn't
it
get the
is bad
memo.
word in English. You didn't get the
I didn't
memo?
get the
Okay, sorry.
memo. Sorry, I use stupid all the time, but I didn't get the memo that we're not supposed to use it anymore. I'm like, there's a lot worse words to use other than stupid. Would you rather me use one of those?
Idiotic, probably. But yeah, when we talk about Galen, the 4 stages of embryology, which is exactly in Quran, is given by Galen long time ago, which is in Quran chapter number 23, verse number 20, 12 to 14. And Allah talks about those. And that's Galen 131 100 AD approximately, almost 550 years before Muhammad. So no matter how you look at these things, whenever you will see something in Quran which has to do something with science, you'll see people at least 500 to 1,000 years beforehand has already described them, and kind of described them wrongly a little, because like Galen's embryology was wrong, so Quran's embryology was wrong because it's exactly like what Galen is saying. uh, when Allah is saying every living thing is made out of water, once again, Muhammad didn't know how to state it perfectly, because Thales says that everything is made out of water. Essentially, he was suggesting that the fundamental block of living creature is water, not literally water, but because this is how the Greek philosopher said it in a philosophical way. Muhammad just put it in as is. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, so you talked about the embryology, and we did touch on that earlier. on the first website that we looked at, which was the muslimvibe.com. Again, okay. But yeah, it talks about it being a lump and a clump, and then you go to the hadith, and the hadith just makes it so much worse. So there's like 40 days that's supposed to be this lump and
Yep.
this clump.
But we have
And
a
so
bigger
that,
problem, brother. I was having a debate. I'm so sorry to cut you short.
go ahead,
I
no,
was
go ahead.
having a debate with one of the Muslim in India, and he brought up this verse and he talked about embryology, and I was like, perfect. You do realize how it starts. If you could go to one verse beforehand.
Let's see if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that easily on this website.
So go up on the top on the browser. Okay, yeah, you got it.
No, right here.
And then we placed him as a sperm drop in a firm lodging. Sperm drop. And
No
I
egg.
challenged him from to show me the eggs of the woman from the Quran or Siyasata, all 6 books of Hadith, Sahih books of Hadith. There is not a single Hadith or the Quranic verse which talks about eggs, female eggs. Never.
Yep.
So
Talks about female
sperm,
sperm. There's reference to
semen,
female sperm.
semen,
Yep.
not sperm, semen.
Oh, semen. Female
Semen.
semen. Yep, right
Woman
there.
has
Female
semen.
semen.
Yeah. So without eggs, there is no, how our females cannot give birth because they cannot produce eggs. After a certain age, they go through a cycle called, what is that called in English? I forgot.
Menopause.
Yeah, menopause. And then they stop producing eggs because the eggs have limited eggs in their lifespan, and they finishes after some time, right? And they go through menopause, and then there are no more eggs. Allah had no idea about it because science was not there at that particular time. That's how
Well,
silly it was.
there are hadith that talk about menopause, that talk about those who have gone beyond their period,
Yeah,
that aren't having it anymore. So they've got that. At least they've got that connection. And it's like they did have chickens.
no, they don't get to that connection. They only go to the point where what human eyes can see. So they stopped getting cycles every month. That's what human eyes can see.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Muhammad talked about the semen of woman because when male and female perform this activity, water type material comes out, right? And that is why Muhammad said, it's a hadith of Sahih Muslim, and it says the female's water is yellow and thin, and male's water is white and thick. So whatever comes out first, the child will resemble that.
Yeah, that's not how that works at all. And again,
And I agree.
This is a perfect missed opportunity here in the Quran. Because I mean, if he would have came in and said, "Yeah, this is widely accepted that this is how the development is," but really, and then explained it correctly, okay, then there'd be some merit to this. But I mean, if I literally have an overlay here of the development of a fetus, so the development of a baby, and we've got our first 2 months. Again, this is supposed to be 40-day span. So where in this period of growth, because it's supposed to, and do remember that after the 80 days, they're supposed to be, that's when the bones are added. That's not what we see at all. The first month, we start seeing bones. Second month, we definitely have bones there, not just a bunch of body parts. So, yeah, looking at the actual development, there's no place for what the Quran describes at all.
I fully agree. So this is the hadith, and it is in 2 locations, but rather multiple location. I'm showing you this location before I go to Sahih Muslim, because in Sahih Muslim they changed the English translation, and it says the man's water is thick and white, and the woman's water is thin and yellow. Whichever of them comes first, the child will resemble that parent. Now the problem is the female's water is yellow only when she has some sexually transmitted disease. Otherwise, that is also transparent, i.e., whitish transparent. Otherwise, if it is yellow, then she has some fungal or something kind of a disease, which is usually sexually transmitted, or if she is not hygienically well. So Muhammad would say such a thing means that his women mostly had these diseases. And by the way, this is Sahih Hadith, and then it is all about ma'a, water, and then go to Sahih Muslim. Let me show you Muslim. They change the translation to deceive the people. Check this out, same Hadith in Sahih Muslim. Resemble comes from the one whose gene prevail or dominate. Where the hell did they got this information? They changed the
Completely
translation.
fabricated. Complete
Change the translation.
fabricated.
Check this out. It has nothing to do with gene in Arabic. أو سبق يكون من الشبه. That's it. The water who will take sabakat means who will come out first. Yakun minhu shubha. That is how the kid will be resembling. So where did they actually put the gene in translation? That's just so silly. This is how they deceive people.
I gotta scratch my head at the people who are doing this translation, who are actively know Arabic, know English, and know that that is not what it means at all, but yet will say, you know what, I'm going to change it to make it sound better, knowing that they're doing this deception, and yet still staking their eternity on these.
I fully agree. Rather, I would say a lot of scholars of Islam who does the translation will not go to hell because they rejected Christ, but rather they'll go to hell because they deceived people.
Well, that's just the obligate. That's just takia, right? Because they're just doing it to make Islam look better. They're doing it to make the Quran look better and make it more scientific. So obviously, they're fixing all his mistakes. Which, again, if I was doing any translation for the Bible and I came across where it clearly says something that is so scientifically incorrect, but yet claims to be correct, I'd have a problem with it. I wouldn't just cover it up.
I fully agree. But that's how they cover it up. And once again, you use takhayya, and I have stated that in many of to our brothers and sisters in the West. Taqiyya is used when your life is in danger. It cannot be used for anything else according to Islamic Shara. But there are other things that you can use according to Islamic Shara, which they use. For example, tawriya. This is called deceit by ambiguity, giving ambiguous translation. Ambiguity. You have tisyar, which is deceiving through not observing all the tenets of Sharia. Then you have darura, which is deceiving through necessity, i.e., doing haram things, even though that you are not supposed to do that. Then you have maruna, which is blending in, so that you will go to non-Muslim and blend in and kind of do things that they actually are doing. And then you have kitman, where you lie by omitting. For example, you do not state the full verse of the Quran and only state partial verse and omit the context of it so that you could deceive the people. So there are so many types of lying in Islam. Taqiyya is one of it. And that is why when an American or British or Western actually says something, hey, you guys are doing taqiyya. No, we can't do taqiyya because taqiyya, we are not under threat, blah, 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 blah. Yes, they're right. But you have kitman, tawriya, tasyar, darura, marura, hayal. You have so many other type of deceptions, and it's just like never ending deceptions. In the Sharia manual of Undat Salik, written by Imam uh, um, what's his name, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, according to Imam Shafi, which has 1230 pages of Sharia manual, there is a section called permissible lying, and that section has 20 pages. This is how important lying is.
I think there's an addition to the list you gave as well there in the chat. Yeah, quite a variety of different ways to deceive.
Let me show you my PowerPoint presentation on this. I have done that so that you guys can take a screenshot of it. There you go. All of you can take this screenshot. There you go. So these are different types of lying in like very basic different type of lying according to Imam Shafi Rahimahullah. And it's written in Sharia, man.
Again, that's so alien from the Christian mindset that lying is one of the 10 Commandments. I keep having Muslims come on saying that the Christians are violating the 10 Commandments. Well, one of those is thou shalt not lie. And here you go.
And here it says, thou shall lie. Rather, let me open Sharia manual and I'll show you. It says, lying is not just permissible, it becomes obligatory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are two things. Permissibility means you may lie or you may not lie. Obligatory means you have to lie. So these are two different things. So let me open that. I'm sorry, I'm moving it away from your topic. So please do your topic. I'm sorry.
No, this is
I didn't mean to do that.
fantastic. I mean, this is, tell you truthfully, it's part of it because we've run into all of these different types of lying. They're lying through omission, all of those in these 13, well, actually like 12 or 14 miracles that we've gone through according to the Muslims, where they have taken sections seriously but then forgot to read the rest of it. Or how many times do I talk with Muslims and they'll refer to part of the verse in the Bible but then drop the rest of it?
Okay. All right. So let me share you. This is how they actually are supposed to do. This is Undatul Salik, and the English translation is called Reliance of Travelers. This is the Sharia manual
Yep.
attributed
Yeah, I've gone through
towards Imam Shafi Rahimahullah. And if we go to, it's in the backstage, you have to add it, brother.
Yep.
And
And
if
you
you
can
go
find
to
this online.
section R 8.0, if you go there, you'll see something called lying, and then it is saying permissible lying. Okay, lying which is permissible. So let me go further. Instead of reading all of that, let me go to a very important thing. The best analysis of it I have seen, which is Imam Shafi's writing, is by Imam Abu Hamid al-Ghazali. Imam Ghazali wrote a book, and it is said about this book, it is called Alumuddin, Al-Hayal Alumuddin. And the scholar said that if each and every single book of Islam is burned and you have nothing, this book by Imam Ghazali is sufficient to encapsulate all of these books. And you know who said that? This is Imam An-Nawawi who said that, who is the writer of the hadith as well as the grader of the hadith. So Imam Nawawi said that were the books of Islam all be lost and burned, except only Al-Haya, Ulumuddin, it would be sufficient to replace all of them. So this is the guy, this is the book, who says speaking is the mean of achieving objectives. If the aim is attainable through both telling the truth and lying, it is unlawful to accomplish it through lying, because there is no need for it. But when it is possible to achieve something by lying, but not by telling the truth, it is permissible to lie if attaining the goal is permissible. Now, this is permissibility. So if you are supposed to do something and you are doing something permissible and you can't do it but without lying, lying is permissible. That's the basic premise. Now, the second premise is, when the purpose of lying is to circumvent someone who is preventing from doing something permissible, then it becomes obligatory to lie. So now it is obligatory. It's not just permissible, it's obligatory. What does that mean?
You have
If
to do it.
you have to do it in a location when something which is permissible you can't do, hence you have to lie about it. Something permissible can be anything. For example, eating halal food is obviously obligatory, but let me think of permissibility. Maybe doing uh, uh, after the farad prayers, they have to do sunnah prayer and nawafil prayer, which are permissible prayers, not obligatory. So if you are doing some additional prayers and you want to do that, but you can't do that unless you lie, then you have to lie. And then he gives so many examples of situation. And Imam Ghazali's book actually gives you almost 40 pages of examples of how to lie. 40 pages on how you should lie. That's how it is,
Again,
brother.
thou shalt not lie. Golly. Ah. Yes, it's so totally the same God. Mm-hmm. Definitely
They
not the
are
father of
definite.
lies.
They are definitely not the same God, brother. That's why I left Islam.
Oh, man. So going on to, I'm just going to keep going through this website here. Just do two of these websites here if they have any different ones. So you have the most fragile house is spiders. So the most fragile house is a spider's house. And this is a miracle because, you see, spiders make webs and they live in them. So therefore, it is the miracle.
Ah, so how is it a miracle, by the way?
I don't know how it's supposed to be a miracle because the issue with this is not all spiders make webs. So this would violate it right here. If that's what they're claiming, is saying that because all spiders make webs, therefore this is a miracle. Well, there's quite a few exceptions. Any sort of traveler spiders, I know in the area I am, we have like wolf spiders. They don't do any nests. You have funnel weaver spiders. They do nests. But yeah, if you got a wolf spider, you got brown recluse. Neither of those do build webs. They travel. So do jumping spiders. So no, they would violate this concept of that. Oh, they got houses. Well, not really.
It's not even a house. It's a trapping mechanism.
Yeah,
It's not a house. It's something to trap. So by saying it's a house is stupidity. Spider makes web to trap different flying objects so that it could eat it. So it's not a house. It's a trap. Nobody ever said that it's a house, but because Muhammad could see spider web is very fragile and he could touch it, he just said it out. Oh, most fragile house. So it's only touchable, seeable things, and Muhammad has no idea what he's talking about. In essence, just like I said before, it's just what the eyes can see.
just skin deep. Once you actually press in and actually under with any sort of understanding, it falls apart. But yet these are the things that are people will cling to, and even Ali Dawa, who's claimed that these have all been debunked, he said that this is one of the major things that drew him to Islam was the scientific miracles that we've already gone through quite a few of them. Just doesn't make any sense. It says everything is
Absolutely.
made by parts.
Huh? Pairs.
Okay.
Pairs. In Quran, there are only 8 pairs, by the way. Allah created all humanity with only 8 pairs, by the way. This is so stupidity. And by the way, we have
Pairs.
20,000 plus species in the animal kingdom which does not have pairs. They are unisex organisms, and they just create themselves unisexly. So I don't know. Allah had no idea about these things.
Yeah, you missed those parts. You forgot about that part of creation that he has. Yeah, pairs. No, not everything has pairs, like you're saying. And in the same way, some animals have multiple partners, not just single. I mean, even Muhammad himself had multiple wives. So I guess maybe they're just saying that, you know, they have female and male only. They have that. But yeah, there are some creatures on this earth that have only, well, have both. Worms, for one, have both. I think snails as well, if memory serves. But, yep, didn't know about those, so those fell by the wayside. The darkness of the ocean, we already touched on that. Again,
Did
that would
we?
be common knowledge.
Let me add something. This was so common
Go ahead.
knowledge that free diving is dated back to 4500 BCE. Okay. And by 400 BCE, people have diving bells. Like literally, they have things, and they have put mouthpieces. And if you see the Greeks were so advanced back then. So they were going down in the sea. They knew the more you go down in the sea, there will be more and more darkness. It's not a miracle. It was such common knowledge. I don't know why when Muslims write these things and they think that nobody has ever done that before. They can't even see when the deep diving started, when it started, how old it is, and how the Greeks and the Romans have built boats and ships a long time ago, and they were doing these deep diving excursions in the ocean to see what is underneath the ocean. It's just so silly to say the Quran is giving us a miracle in this stupidity.
Yeah, and again, it's just copying what was already known in the area. Again, the Quran isn't itself saying that this is a miraculous miracle. It's the Muslims nowadays saying that it is, and this is proof that Islam is true. Now, I do want to, real quick here, go back to the spider web, because there is a point that
We missed. Okay.
that was pointed out about it being fragile, right? Well, the issue with that, and it's been pointed out in the live chat, and I do admit I didn't know about this beforehand, but I did not focus on it. Spider silk is 5 times stronger than steel. I believe that is tensile strength. The strength pulling it for its diameter is 5 times stronger than steel. And yes, I think someone was talking about bulletproof armor being made. Spiderweb, super strong for its size. I thought I saw it. I don't remember where I saw it. But yeah, that the people have made bulletproof armor using spider silk, as well as Genghis Khan, if memory serves, used that as part of his armor. Would use spider silk as part of his armor. So I mean, it's not that fragile. Now, if it would come out and said, "Hey, you could use this. You know, this is even stronger than iron that we sent down." Now, that would have been an interesting statement, right? That would have been interesting. That would have had some sort of merit to it. But yeah, when we get to the statements, that's like, no, we already knew about the darkness of the ocean. Here we have the males determine the sex of the fetus.
That is such so stupidity. We have a
No.
like, where does it say that? Like, that is stupidity. In Quran, it doesn't say that.
This is where I think this is where they're claiming.
Al Qayyamah 37. Let me show that. They are doing wrong translation. Oh man, seriously, like this is so silly. 37, and the verse is,
Where they can make
had he
wrong.
not been a
Sorry, I'm
sperm
trying to
from
fix
the
things. Go ahead.
so this is what the verse is saying. Like, come on, man, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. Like, how this is called deception, man, clear deception. This is the verse. How stupid it is. Had he not been a sperm from a semen emitted? That's it. So
It's not saying the
according to
male.
Allah, no, nothing. So basically, Allah never knew about the eggs that I said previously, right? Allah only talks about semen, nutfa, right? Nutfa.
Mm-hmm.
So in Arabic it says you were a nutfa min mani.
نطفة
So basically,
مني.
money is semen, nutfa is a drop. Not, it doesn't even say sperm, right? It says you were a nutfa, you were a drop of a semen, like before you were a human being. That's it. It doesn't say that male is deciding the sex. It is so stupid because Allah never spoke about the eggs. Never. Allah only talk about nutfa, which literally translates into drop, not
نطفة
sperm drop. It literally translates into drop. Mani is semen. So
مني.
Allah talks about semen drop. You were a drop of semen first. That's it. Like, where does it say the male is deciding the? Come on, man, they're so deceptive. I'm sorry, brother. I got so aggregated something because this was such a stupid lie. I'm so sorry. Didn't mean to be like this. Hey, Eric, if you're speaking, we can't hear you, by the way, or I can't hear you. You're speaking on mute?
It's all good. It's all good. I'm on mute.
Yeah, you were speaking on mute previously. You were laughing. We could hear, we could see you laughing, going back and front, but so you
Oh
gotta
yeah.
rewind.
This is this video saved? Yes, it will be. I mean, the live streams are always saved on my channel, and we can go. You can go back and dive in afterwards. But yeah, it's not. I mean, it doesn't say what they're claiming, and it's just this little snippet, right? But yet they make this paragraph off of it. They try to pull this out in order to make it fit what they claim. And of course,
Exactly.
7 is we have the barrier between fresh water and salt water,
Oh my
which
goodness.
it mixes. It does mix, even though the Quran's saying that this barrier, whatever it is, which it doesn't say that, it doesn't actually tell you what the barrier is, but it does mix together. Salt water and fresh water do mix, and this is just such a bad statement. Now, if you look at the studies on it by Muslim scholars, it's very clear that it seemed to be that he's talking about land being the separation between the two, but not this magical barrier that's supposed to be between the fresh water and salt water.
There are too many things over here. Okay. If you read the verse, Quran chapter number verse number 53, it says, Huwallazi marajal bahrain. Is that the verse they are talking about?
2019.
So they are
I
talking
believe
about
so.
20 and 19. Marajal bahrain. So it also says marajal bahrain. So there are multiple verses that it talks about this particular aspect. Let me just show it to you on screen so that we will know what the problem is. So you gotta open my screen one more time. I'm so sorry. So it
Sorry, I'm
says
just on the wrong page.
Huwalazi,
There you
and
go.
it is he. Huwalazi, and it is he who released between the two seas.
البحرين.
Okay. Allah is talking about seas, not river. Okay, can you tell me one sea which has sweet water?
None come to mind.
There is none, because sea bahar always have salt water. So
Yeah,
first of all,
lakes.
yeah, somebody has to tell me how can the two seas meet and one is fresh and one is sweet, one is salty. How is that possible? This is not possible. Okay, so it is not even talking about these seas. So what is he talking about? There's a phenomena near Africa. I forgot the exact location. You can search on the internet, where the river falls into the sea, and when it falls into the sea, the river has different color water and the sea has different color water. It's not talking about Alaska Sea, because a lot of people shows the video as Alaska Sea, where Alaskan Sea actually connects with the Pacific Sea or something like that. This is not that. It is much closer to Muhammad. It is near Africa, where the river water, which is sweet water, is going into the sea, and there is a color difference between the two. And because it's constantly flowing into the sea, it apparently seems like that they are not mixing, but obviously we all know they're mixing every second of the time. Every second of the time. And now Allah says here, barzakh.
برزخ.
Barzakh is a, like literally a hard rock barrier. Means like something which cannot allow two liquids to mix. For example, if I have liquid in a big jug and I put a plastic thing in the middle of it so that the water could not come together, this is what Allah is talking about. Barzakh, there's a barzakh between them. There's a barzakh between the heaven and the hell as well, so that the hell's heat will not go into heaven. This like but here if you see, you go into the water, you will never see a barzakh. You will only see water getting mixed together. And this is like this verse is literally problematic no matter how you see it. It's not just that they are not mixing, and it's number one, how can two seas, we are talking about two seas, there's not a single sea in the world which has sweet water, they're all salty. So it's not talking about the sea, even though there is written as sea, bahr, and then the barzakh, and then we all know that they're always mixing, because the river water and the sea waters are always mixing. And that's it. Yeah, it's crazy, it's silly.
Yet that's where this miracle comes from, and people are sold this bunch of goods. So yeah, any looking into it really reveals it. Just again, like we were talking beforehand, only surface deep. You can look at the water, and it looks like it's not mixing, and it looks like there's a barrier. So therefore, it is. But no, underneath the surface, that's not what's happening. So no, not a scientific miracle, a scientific blunder. If you want to try to claim it, again, it doesn't have to be claimed as being some sort of scientific miracle. So 9, they have creation of the fetus. We've already gone through this. No time does the fetus actually development ever line up with what the Quran claims.
You know, the last part of this verse is very important. It says, "Fatabarakallahu ahsanul khaliqin." Is that the same verse they're showing? Yes. So if you read the last part, it says, "Fatabarakallahu ahsanul khaliqin." So blessed is Allah, the best of all creators in plural, not creator. Creators in plural. Khaliqin. Now this is the biggest problem here as well. You see why? It was said by Saad bin Abi Sarah. The first murtad of Islam is Saad bin Abi Sarah. He was the writer, the Quran. He was the writer of the Quran. So Muhammad apparently dictated this person to write the Quran. And Muhammad was talking about this this verse where Allah creates human beings. And when he finished it, Saad bin Abi Sarah said, "Fatabarakallahu ahsanal khaliqin." He said, "Wow, blessed is Allah, the best of all creators." And Muhammad said, "Right as is in the Quran." And Saad bin Abi Sarah said, "If Muhammad is a prophet, then this verse, this part of the verse, has been revealed on me just like things gets revealed on Muhammad. Otherwise, Muhammad is a liar. He's a kazzab." And hence, Saad bin Abi Sarah left Muhammad and became the first ex-Muslim of the history of Islam. So, this verse is so problematic here because this is the words of Saad bin Abi Sarah. Number one. Number two, how can Allah says, "Blessed is Allah, the best of all creators"? Does Allah has more creators with him? So this was the words of a human being who was the writer of the Quran, brother. And I love this verse.
Yeah, and yet passed off as if this came as a revelation from Allah himself. I mean, that is such a nail in the coffin for this, and this is the one. This one is commonly passed around. I'd say this is probably the one I hear about the most. Is this whole miracle of the fetus, and that this is the one that proves Islam is true. And here you have the writer of this saying, oh, I'm out. It's me making this stuff up. And Muhammad's obviously a liar on this. Just applying basic logic to it.
Exactly. It's so silly. We can do a full stream on this one.
Oh yeah, I think that's the first ex-Muslim live stream should be done. The
First
history of the first
ex-Muslim of Islam.
ex-Muslim. So, and then we've got the expansion of the universe. Again, I can't believe they're actually making these claims.
That's just silly.
In,
There's nothing called universe in Islam. So let me tell you, in Quran, there is not a single time Allah used the word universe. Universe in Islam, universe in Arabic can be stated as al-kaun or kaun or akwan, as in plural of universe akwan. Problem is that Quran never talks about the word. You will not see this word in the Arabic Quran. You will only see sky, sama. Sama means sky. It does not mean heaven. Sahih International Translator actually created a very deceptive translation in a way that whenever the word Jannah is used, Sahih International Translator will translate it in English as garden, just like the Garden of Eden in the Bible. Basically, she did a wrong translation. Jannah means heaven. As-sama means sky. Sky. And according to Quran, there are 7 skies on
Yep.
top of each other like pancakes. So here the word the sky is expanding, not the universe. And we are its expander, or we are expanding it or something.
Well,
So
it's added. So
yeah, it is added
other
in the bracket,
translation.
but in the Arabic, if you read it, like it's al-mas'un, it's like we are the expander of it, something like that. So you can read it like that, but that's not the problem. It's talking about a sky. Which sky? The first sky. It's not even plural, it's single sama. Was sama'u, singular. And the sky we constructed with strength, and indeed we expanding. That's it. That's it. Which
Yeah,
sky? The first sky, the second sky, the third sky, the fourth sky, the fifth sky, sixth sky, seventh sky. Which one?
and we know their physical locations because Muhammad was able to physically fly to them.
Oh yes.
So, yeah, they're physically there. And again, I would look at this and I would just say that it's just Allah claiming to be the expander. He's the creator. He's the one who's putting this into being. Not saying that the universe itself is consistently expanding, or that the heaven is expanding constantly.
It's not even heaven. It's sama. It's sama. It's sky. Just read it as sky. Like Sahih, other than Sahih International, I don't know how many actually translated it as. Like if you go to any other translation, probably Pikhtal or Yusuf Ali, you'll see this word sky. Sama means sky, not heaven. Heaven is heaven, and there's nothing called universe in Quran. If you read the manuscript of Sabi'ins, the Ginza Rabba, you will see the word kaun over there, or akwanun nur, the light of the universe. So Allah in the Sabi'in scripture actually says he is the akwan nurul akwan, or akwanun nur. He is the light of the universe. But in Quran, Allah says, Nurus samawati wal arz. He is the light of the earth and the sky. Full stop. Nothing else. Nothing else. In Quran, you will see stars, sun, moon, and earth. Full stop. Nothing else. There is nothing else that you can find in the in Quran. Stars you can see, sun you can see, moon you can see, earth you can see. That's it. If you see Mars from Earth without the proper lenses, you will think of Mars as a star. You see Jupiter, you will see without the lenses, you will see it as a star. So you won't even know if it is Jupiter or Mars or Venus or whatever, because you don't have the lenses. So for Muhammad, it's always stars. I'm sorry, I'm just going into another kind of rebuttal other than what you already gave.
No. There's multiple layers to this, and yeah, being the sky. Earlier on, there was someone in the chat who pointed this out. Earlier on, and the other website that we looked at beforehand, he was talking about the sky being the protection, about it being there, but it refers to it about being a ceiling, something hard, something that's there, but yet they want to take half of it's literal, half of it as just figuratively.
Yeah,
It
but
did
by
not
the way,
hold up well.
if sky is a protective ceiling, then Allah's roof is very, very weak, because we have meteor shower and everything coming into that roof. So this roof has a lot of holes, man.
Yeah, protecting ceiling. Yeah, this obviously we've gone to outer space. We put satellites up in outer space. Yeah, it didn't work so well as keeping us protected. Gas the dinosaurs didn't work out so well for them. So, absolutely. So let's go on to the next one here, which is always a fun one, which is the mountains. You see, the mountains have roots, and therefore that is a miracle because Allah is using them as pegs. At least
Oh
that's what
my
the last
goodness.
website referred to.
So Allah put the mountains from the top in the earth as pegs. Now the problem is, how can, like, did the mountain come from the top of the world somewhere else, or they came inside the crust?
Inside the crust, and what created the mountains? Oh, wait. Tectonic movement, which could be earthquakes. So earthquakes helped make mountains, but yet, according to Allah, the reason why they are put there is to stop earthquakes.
Exactly. Thank you so very much. So tectonic plates moved, earthquakes happened, and mountains got created. Now, when mountains got created, apparently they are not stopping the earthquakes. Rather, most of the earthquakes happens when where the mountains are, because of the shift of the tectonic plates in those locations. It's so crazy. Allah had no idea about it.
Mountains are actually signs of instability, not stability, which the Quran
Exactly.
implies that they are there because it's making sure that everything stays stable. So, yeah, just like tent spikes, putting them into the ground to hold everything into place. Oh, boy. Yeah, this is supposed to be a miracle. This is supposed to be example of why we are supposed to believe in the Quran. The flight of birds.
No kidding.
I didn't make
What
this
what
list. This
what
was
verse is
them.
this? This is stupidity. No, this is stupidity.
You're going to make him have an aneurysm, man.
Because I just know that Allah says in the Quran that Allah holds the birds in the sky. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
Allah holds them in the sky. It's not like and I think they use it here. At least I'm not sure if it's this website or another website that claimed it, but that yeah,
Yeah, this is the same verse.
this
This is the
this is
same verse.
it.
Your
This is
your
it.
zoom level is very bad. I was reading it. So it says none holds them up except Allah. So is this a miracle? So Allah is flying with the birds and holding them up with his hands. Like,
Yeah, they
like
add
seriously, how is this a
flying.
miracle?
They add in this translation they're using. They add flying, and they also added none gave them the ability to fly but Allah. So they add both those in to
Oh my
make this
goodness.
work. But okay, if you were to say that Allah created the world, the universe, everything in being, and then gave the ability to fly to birds, fine. I mean, we believe that God created the universe. We believe that God did create birds with the ability to fly. Okay, but that's not science. That's not a miracle. I mean, see, whoever's putting this list together is sitting down saying that this is a miracle, and I'd never say that about the Bible. If the Bible said about the birds flying, and that God's the one who put them into flying, never mind that it's actually saying that Allah is the one holding them up in the sky. Seems to be a bit of a difference there from what they're actually claiming. Oh my gosh. You can't.
This is so silly because I don't know how else to explain it off, because it never talks about any miracle. It just talks about Allah is holding them. Like literally, the bird who does not believe in Allah, they'll fall off. By the way, none of the birds believe in Allah. FYI.
Not last time I checked. I never saw any of the birds doing their 5 daily prayers. So that would be a bit of an issue there. So now they end that. So I guess they only
What?
did 12. Because this website claims 15, right? That's what they said at the beginning, right? Oop. 1 second. They claim 15 at the beginning. Yeah, 15 scientific Quranic miracles that will blow your mind. Okay. We've gone through 12 of them, and now they're changing to... Really? The words used?
Word use atmosphere. Use atmosphere. Nahi. Entomorphy in Surah Al Imran. What is the entomorphy? Oh, these are just the words. Okay, this word is written as this time and this word. That is stupidity. That is just so
They're
stupid.
claiming these three are just that. And I don't see any other scientific... They freaking scammed us. They gypped us, man. This is the worst part about this website. They gypped us, man. They skipped out on 3 miracles. Where are the other 3?
Scammers.
Man, I feel robbed, man. I was looking forward to at least a couple more interesting ones. Oh man. Okay, well, I guess that's it. All I got for now. I mean, we could.
So now we can fly. Let Allah
we can
hold
fly.
us in the sky.
Let Allah hold us. Now we can fly. So that would be, again, if the whole thing is Allah is the one who's holding them up. Obviously, I would assume they would care more about humans than he would about birds. So why wouldn't he then hold up the humans? That'd be
They
a
are very
great
heavy.
example.
No, they are very heavy.
Very heavy. Again, I said the best example for Islam that Allah could have done was every year at Ramadan, women do not have their periods on that month. That would have been the greatest miracle, I think, in my mind at least. It would be a great example.
Females are always very happy when they have periods in Ramadan. They don't have to go for their fasting.
Yeah, but it invalidates everything. It's like, okay, you're going to count that against me as a sin, and it's a normal bodily function that you made me have. And like be in the 10 Commandments, the last one is, thou shalt not poop. That's commandment number 11, and if you do, you're a sinner, and you're going to hell. It's like, hold on here! Wait a moment! Something's not right! You made me in this way that I have to do this thing. I have no option in it. So, yeah, I would, okay, even if you say, well, they still have to have their periods during the month, okay, just move it to the nighttime. So they always, all believing women, all Muslim women all around the world have their periods during nighttime on Ramadan like clockwork. Okay, cool. That works. That would be a good, like, actual miracle that I could look at and grasp onto. But no, we'll just count them as sin. So I can't, I don't know, 2 websites, allegedly, one having 12 and one having 15 different scientific miracles that will blow my mind. My mind hasn't been blown.
Really?
No.
Yusuf just said because your heart has a disease, that's why.
Yep, my heart has a disease. I'm looking into this too closely. My heart has a disease, the same disease that must have affected the first ex-Muslim. That same
Saad bin
sort of
Abi Sarah.
disease.
Mm.
Oh man,
What we can do is I can
that's hilarious.
tomorrow is my go live day anyways. So I'll be going live 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you have time, join in. Rather push it on your channel as well, so we can do two channels at the same time live stream about the first ex-Muslim of Islam. Will you have time to join in?
Oh, that sounds fantastic. What time? You said 3
6:30
p.m.,
Pacific.
6:30
No,
Pacific.
6:30 Eastern. No, wait.
Oh, Eastern?
6:30
There's
Pacific,
a
which will be
big
9:30.
difference.
Yeah. 6:30 Pacific, which is 9:30 Eastern. So
Okay.
Thursday I go live at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern.
Fantastic. I will definitely try to swing by there. I should be able to. It should work because my kids should be asleep, so I should be free.
Awesome.
So it
So we
sounds
can
like
do
fun. And which
the
which
first ex-Muslim
channel
of
is that? Which
I
channel are
will
you
I will
thinking about?
Adam Seeker.
Oh, just Adam Seeker.
Yeah, that's the English channel. So I will schedule it on my channel. I will send you the StreamYard link. You go into that link and then you say push it on your channel. So on the top right corner, you will see live broadcast on my channel as well. So add your just click on that and it will be scheduled on your channel by default from there. And I will send you the thumbnail separately. So let's do it on both channels at the same time.
Sounds good. Sounds like fun. So, okay, well, I think that's it for the scientific miracles, at least where we're at for today. We'll have to hit that tomorrow, and it's going to be a fun one. That's going to be so much fun. But until
The
then,
first
guys, God bless you. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said the first ex-Muslim of Islam is one of my favorite because I am an ex-Muslim from Islam. I am a Murtad from Islam, rather not ex-Muslim from Islam. I'm an ex-Muslim, which is Murtad of Islam. And this guy, Muhammad said about this guy, if Saad bin Abi Sarah is hidden underneath the curtain of the Kaaba, kill him right there and then. That is how angry Muhammad was about him. Because he called Muhammad a liar, a kazab. And I will show it from 11 different tafsir, from two different siras, and the hadiths from Siyasata. This is the first ex-Muslim of Islam. Hazrat Saad bin Abi Sarah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to say to him, peace be upon him. He is to be the peace be upon him.
Peace be upon him. He definitely had a mind and be able to think things through to say, I'm the one doing this, making this up, not like Umar over there adding parts to the Quran and being like, that's just part of it. Oh, hijab thing. Well, that was my idea, but we'll pass it off as Allah's. No big deal. So we'll catch you guys over on that. I'll also be live streaming tomorrow morning with John again. We're going to be talking about Am I Racist? So that'll be fun. I
You
haven't seen
with
the
white
movie. Yes.
skin, definitely racist. Like right
Definitely.
now,
Obviously.
yeah, right now in America, if you have white skin, then you are by default racist. If you are black skin, then you are by default not racist. Even though with that skin, you can say all the racist stuff of the world, yet because your skin color is black, you are not racist. If
I
you
have a...
are a white skin person, by default, you are racist, brother. You are racist.
Absolutely. That's a new documentary from Daily Wire. He saw it. I'm going to be interviewing him on his channel about it. We'll be talking and breaking it down. And yes, I even have a friend who definitely plays that up whenever he gets the opportunity. He's like, you can't be racist. You guys said I can't be racist, so therefore I can't say anything. Oh, the
Exactly.
double standards never end. So thank you guys again, and I will see you guys tomorrow twice. Let's have fun.
Christ is risen, risen indeed.